morning to everybody. Today the subject is MMPH004, that is Industrial and Employment Relations. I'm Haradhan Biswas, Academic Counselor of MBA IGNOU and visiting faculty of Guru Gobind Singh in the Post University and visiting faculty of MT University online. So today is a very interesting subject. It is actually the MMPH 004, that is your third semester paper. Those who are opted for the HRM, Human Resource Management, for them it is one of the course. So first of all, I will try to give you some of the concepts. I mean the block arrangement, how many blocks, what are the units, and within the units what the topics are there to be covered up. This is based on the new syllabus I'm just discussing. Unit 1, that is a concept of the approaches. First is the industrial employment relations, and this is a work overview. The concept and the nature of the industrial and employment relations, and what are the actors in the industrial relations in this case. The definition of the industrial relations, need and significance of the industrial and the employment relations, approaches to different industrial relations, what are the factors affecting the employment relations, and issues and challenges for the industrial and employment. This is the for unit 1 described. Unit 2 is your industrial relations in pre-independence era and industrial relations in post-independence era, 5 years plans and 5 years plans, that is actually for the pre-liberalizations and post-liberalizations. So unit 2 are related to what are the evolution. That's just some sort of history, back history, and during the period pre-independent, what are the actions has taken, what type of regulations and different acts has been formulated. That part has been discussed. Unit 3 is your constitutions, ILO, International Labour Organizations, and the legal framework, that part, and where we can understand the objectives of the enacting the labor legislations and comprehend the fundamental rights and directive principles as basis of the labor legislations. Then you developed insights into the role of ILO on the industrial relations in India, that part. And finally, you get an overview of the labor codes. So that's the unit 3 that describes. And then another, unit 4 is actually your labor administration in India. What type of administrations are in India that been adopted, that part. And the constitutional provisions and your labor administration machinery, then your attached offices of the Ministry of Labor and the Employment, autonomous organizations, labor administrations and in the states, and unorganized sector workers. That is the one of the big issues nowadays after the now the COVID Corona 19, that is a COVID-19. After that, what are the post effects are there, and because of the unorganized sectors are very important nowadays, they are also participating in your development of the economy in our India. So that's why that is our focus on your unorganized sector workers also. So that is one of the, I can say, the latest things to be understand, to know all these things. And your unit 5 is a global trends. What are the global trendings going on? The trending we have to see, that is trade unionisms, collective bargaining, and workers' participation in the management, social security. So all are very important part in the international and the global, you can say the international part, and other countries, what is going on, and plus, and in addition to that, as an industry or as a company, those who are multi-dimensionals, working or multinational companies, and what are the things has to be adopted, and that is a part of this. And Yeah, another issue is there, the social security. Like this said, then block two actually your trade unionism, totally your details in the unionism purposes, where there are four units. You can see the 6, 7, 8, and 9 units are there. Development of different functions on the trade unions will be there. What are the trade union, how it is formed, what are the national act and regulations, uh, what are the criteria behind it. So all these things are to be there. And the trade union structure is also leaderships, recognitions, then managerial unionisms, and the employment relations in the non-union firms. So all these things are part into your unit number 9. Now block 3, there are again the 3 units. There is your collective bargaining for the decision making purposes, important collective bargaining, and that we have to understand what is the collective bargaining in subsequent classes. Unit 11 is the bargaining structure, process, and agreements, and then your unit 12 is the negotiations, how to negotiate the things, if any bonus or something, or any gratia or any benefits for the welfare of the employees, how to deal with the employer. So all these part are the part of your negotiations. You have to see it, and there are a lot of rules. There are arbitrations. There are how to arbitrations are coming there. So that part are in the block. Now, block 4 is your grievance, discipline, and conflict resolutions. Because you see here, in any industry or company, there should be some conflicts will be there. There are a lot of arguments, injustice, or you can say uh, some sort of your audit. So everything are there. And then if any discipline matters are there, how to handle these things. That is the criteria. And grievances are as far as possible, as early as possible to resolve the grievances. That handling that process is to know, and what is the skill required for this grievance handling. That part we have to discuss. Then disciplinary organizations and industrial conflict. And it is a unit number 15 is basically your industrial conflict, where the lot of conflicts are there because of the employee and employer. Um, uh, there are a lot of paid discrepancies, ambiguities, and lot of other issues are there, which are this created that conflict is created. So we have to understand what is the conflict, then why it has happened, what are the factors behind it, and what is the management, how to manage the conflict. That part is the industrial conflict. Conflict in any range, everywhere, every stages. But industrial means where in industry, what type of conflict, that part we have to focus on it. So this is the total cover of your all the blocks. Basically, the MMPH004 industrial and the employment. The name itself, the title itself is the industrial and the employment relations. There are two components you can see here, or two variables that way. There is one in the industry and is the employment. So how the relation has to see where the conditions and how to build up the relations in terms of the goal and budget, so that we can improve in all round improvements should be there. And the main another aspect is there, the productivity, increase the productivity. So now I can start with the unit 1, block 1. We have to concentrate on the block 1 right now. So block 1 little bit conceptual ideas in there. So it will if we understand the block 1 very thoroughly, then a subsequent block will be very easy to understand. So to try to focus on the unit 1 and unit 2, then definitely it will be covered up almost. You can touch it after that. So this is the way the block 1 is very important, because it is a total overview. So if we understand the block 1 very correctly, then definitely other blocks it will be subsequently it will be very easy to understand. So workers have been the most important element for ensuring the production and productivity of an organization. As we know, workers are the asset of the company. So we have to see their efficiency, and they should give a good productivity in the organization, good productions. So that is one of the main things. Increasing on why it is required, these industrial and employment relations, why it is required very much? Because increasing competitiveness, technological advancements, and customer expectations also different right nowadays. So what are the product you are launching today? So maybe 1 or 2 months after that, the demand, human nature is by always new things are required. So customers, you have all the time you have to customize the things. So you have to search what the customers is, why they are, what the things that they are expecting, and accordingly you have to redesign everything. So the workforce, what are on the organization's your source of the competitive advantage. So in turns, you whatever your workforce is the employee that has to be at par with that level so that they can compete. What are the skill development is required so that they can do this product easily and it should be a marketable. So competitive advantage is one of the issues very important. That's why you have to see that industrial and employees relationships. Then your outcomes of the poor relations manifest in the form of a increased labor turnover, absenteeism, indisciplines, poor quality of output, increased cost of productions, among others. You see that type of outcomes where the poor, the relations is not very good, and the turnover is labor turnover is more increased. I mean, the going and coming, not stay, attrition levels is more like these absenteeisms and indisciplines. So and quality is also not good. So in everything are affecting your productions in the company itself. So where somehow it is there in the line, some of the relationships we have to see. Some if we increase the relationships, it may happen some good result. So poor relations between the management and the workers may result in industrial unrest, which affects the economic growth of the nations. So it is proven. It is proven also that if the relation is not good, definitely there is no communications, and so production is also to be hampered. So therefore, the maintaining the cordial relations between the management and the workers is of the paramount importance anywhere in the world. So we have to see to maintain in a very smooth way, and it is a continuous process. Today I have a good relations, so you have to see the future also, so that you have to maintain throughout the life. Increasing competitiveness, technological advantage, customer expectations have made the workforce of an organization a source of competitive advantage. Several changes in the recent years have been responsible for the attentions being paid to employment relations within the organizations. So, lot of changes because of the changes happening. So, to cope up these situations and to so that's why the more attention is required so that the relations can be built up. Competitiveness has increased due to which firms need to enhance their quality of the goods and services and reduce the cost of the productions to be able to offer best quality product at the competitive prices. Some other points was also there to clear the concept. I have tried to give you some of the more ideas so that what are the concept and what are the approaches basically so that we can understand. The quality of the workforce and the training have become the critical factors. So, what are the workforces there? They are literate. They are how much they are the measurement. I mean, their behavioral pattern, their skill levels, their capacity. So, everything has to be judged. If training is required, training has to be the critical factor. So, there is a need for multi-skill and easily trainable employees. So immediately you can train them and put it the particular jobs. So this is one of the points. Technology has been another important factor that has shifted attention to workplace relations because the so fast technology is coming in so fast, so you have to adapt it. You have to capable to do these things, and as early as possible, you have to accept this technology so that you can at par with the other companies in the market, and also take a competitive advantage. So modern technology now makes it possible for aspects of the work to be performed, and even uh, outside national borders. So part-time work is increasing, particularly due to the influx of our more families into the employment and their preferences in some cases for part-time work. Earlier it was a joint family. Now everything are capsule type. There are still the small families are there. They all are the working conditions. All the couples are working, so it is needed some the area because it tends to do these things. And female employees are increasing day by day. So lot of that's why the preference they are preferencing to do these things through these part-time work jobs. So it is now diversifying. Lot of job is also because based on this technology, you can do remotely. You can do it. That has been very much explored. Industrial relations deals with the worker-employer relations in the industry. So in a single word, that is a relations, and it deals basically with worker and the employer. There are two components you can see. There are two objects. I think they are what type of relations they have. That is basically you have to see if it is lagging, you have to increase it. If it is not at par with the skill levels, so you have to develop the skills. So what are the areas that has to be identified and do the jobs? Industrial relations in a country are affected by the various factors. What are the factors? There is the concept and approaches, dominant being the political ideologies, one of the factors. Economic factors, this is also another issues. Inflations and some of the other issues, crises and all these things. And your strength of trade unions, that is also issues. If the union are very strength, the awareness level of the workers, that is one of the factors because most of the workers they don't know what is going on. I mean, they don't know also the what is the management has decided for them. So that awareness level has to be also at a very point. Management believes. So industrial relations functions with the objective of the beginning equality and equity between the two parties, then workers and the management. So these two things are very distinctly to understand the things. What are the objectives? There has to clear cut objectives should be there. Industrial relations in the is a multidisciplinary approach. There should be multidisciplinary approach should be there, not only particular step up in a particular one things. So considering the other aspect also you have to see. Industrial relations integrates the concept of the economics as it involves issues related to wages, benefits, social security measures. So all are integrated part, and everything are there. If the wages is not good, maybe the some deficiency will come up. If the benefit is not there, maybe some uneasiness, some anxiety will start. What will happen after the retirement? Or maybe my sons are studying and not getting the educational allowance. So benefits are also very vital issues to create the relations between the management and the workers. Social security is another issue because in the wartime period or maybe the within the organization, within the company, the what type of security is there for the women's purposes in the evening time, and really they are providing the vehicles or not. So all these things are factors are there. In today's network world, the changes events as the affairs in one country can have significant implications for industrial relations as well. So, changes are also worldwide is going on. If you have a good network, then definitely whatever your views or your product will be dominating to other countries. So that is also another very significant part is there. Industrial relations functions with the objectives of the bringing the equality and equity between the two parties, workers and the management. International labor organizations have an important impact upon the labor-related issues. Now, the one of the organizations has come up. These are international labor organizations, if any, internationally for equity and for the equality, they are taking the care of all these things, so that one of the big giant cannot be cross the levels or monopoly the other things. So that's some sort of relationships they have to build up as a in a global sense they have to see it, that institutions. So industrial and the employment relations has three actors. One of the key, the workers and their organizations. So all workers are thinking their own way, maybe much less of the organizations they are thinking that there is one of the second, employers and their organizations. Employers are seeing in their viewpoint, considering the organization's point of view. And third is the state. So there are three things. We have to one by one, all the three stages, we have to see how it is defined. Workers and their organizations. The characteristics of the workers like their educational level, awareness levels, level of skills acquired, poverty levels, rural, urban background, migrant nature, where which state they have come, then cultural characteristics. These are attributes. All these things are attributes that play for the important role in the industrial relations. What about the things, the other attributes are there, the level of education, poverty levels, all these attributes or traits, whatever the things that will uh, play a main role. Since individual worker is weak and his or her voice may or may not be heard by the management, so therefore they often associate to form organizations and that give them strength. So such associations are generally known as the trade unions. So which may or may not be at the political affiliation. Sometimes the trade union are affiliated by the political parties. Some affiliations are there. Some of the trade union are not. They are in a neutral way. So it depends. So when the particular work is weak, you cannot say directly is whatever his grievances to directly pass to the management. They are in a group and they can form this association, and association leaders, the union leaders, can put up all the their proposals to the management on behalf of all employees. So, uh, third is the employers and their organizations. Second, the employers are important actors in the industrial relations because they create the employment, provide the remunerations to workers in return to their labor. So here the role of a employer is very big role because if they are role are performing very good, it maybe reduce the wrong decision. The relationships can be improved very nicely. So regulate the work of the employees so as to achieve a maximum productivity. So they have to regulate the things. So management, in this case, the employer are the main things. They have to regulate the employees, and then only the productivity can be improved. So their objective is to generate the maximum profit at the minimum cost because in a business, this business is not a charity because we have to earn, you have to show the profit also. Then you have to run, you can survive in the market. So objectives always as a management, as a employer, they are always target to how to generate the maximum profit and within a minimum cost or to the optimum utilization of the human resource management. So that is one of the main uh, prime things are always in the thought process there. They have to do in this line only. To pressurize the management to accept their demands, workers often resort to pressure tactics like strikes, then your ghirao, then plating, etc., which results into the industrial unrest. So sometimes we have to, as an employer, we have to tackle these things, we have to see the situations, how to deal with these situations. That is the your role play to strengthen themselves and they increase their bargaining power. Then employers are also organized into the associations. So, like this. Now, third stage, this is the third role I can see the actor is the state. Since maintaining the harmonious employee-employer relations is important for the growth of the economy of the nations, therefore, the state makes active efforts to create a healthy work environment so that that type of situation, that type of bargaining process, that type of conflict should not come. You have to maintain in such a way everywhere if the wages, if the benefits, if everything, timing, and as a complementary each other. And employee also should be participating in everything. They have to think this is my company. I should maintain I should obey all the disciplines. So that means some work healthy working conditions is required. So that means the state that last stages are for the both. It is defining for the both employer and the employee also. Government's role becomes important. Now here the government role is also important as in the state level, as it frames the policies, regulations, and legislations for maintaining the healthy employer and employee relations so that productivity remains high. The state also creates platforms for bringing together the representatives of the employer and the worker at the same state for discussions pertaining to the labor policies. एक्चुअली स्टेट में उस स्थिति में मतलब वो परिस्थिति में लाना दोनों जो एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉयर बोथ आर इन ए सेम माइंड लेवल्स discussions can be happened. There's no ego should be there. So that state of mind is clear. Talking about there are thoughts. So now the three aspects we have seen. One is your workers and with the organizations, employers with the organizations, and third is your state, where both employee and employer are participated are necessary. The state also intervenes in when the conflicts cannot be resolved between the management and the trade unions through the mutual organizations. Situation has made then both the parties are not convincing each other. So that case state is coming, so that conflict can be resolved. State also intervenes in the regulating the wages, bonus, and the working conditions through various laws relating to labor. So, interventions are also very important. Thus, the state is an important actor in industrial relations in India. Power employers also organize into associations. So, industrial relations in a concrete system of interactions between the workers and management in industry. Worker 1967 he wrote it like this way. The industrial relations is a concrete system of interactions between the workers and the management in industry. Flanders also in 1970 he has written industrial relations may be described as a study of institutions or job regulations. So there are different author, different philosopher, they have written in different way. Industrial relations in concerned with the bargaining, explicit and implicit between the among employers and employees over the making of the rule of work and other factors that affect this bargaining. So this is the way it is. What are the relations are saying? Industrial relations, in the study of all aspects of the job regulations and making and administering the rules which regulate the employment relationships, regardless of whether they are seen in formal or informal structures or unstructured. So another brain and Clegg 1974 they have written. Here, actually, I'm trying to highlight the things because different writers, different authors, what the way they have represented, what is their concept, and what the way they have represented. The industrial relations can be simply defined as the management of the labor problems in an industrial society, or more operationally as the theories, techniques, and institutions for the resolution of the containing money and power claims in an employment relationships. That is Barbers has written like this, 1984. Now, objectives of the industrial and the employment relations. So I have to see here what the way the establish the what are the objectives are main objectives are there. The primary objectives of the industrial relations is to bring our good and healthy relations between the labor and the management so as to enhance the productivity for economic growth of the nations. So it is clear so far we have discussed the same thing, just in a single word, simply the growth, enhance the productivity. Two, three words you can read out and you can write the objectives. You can fix the objectives. So the objectives, main objectives is your relationship to be improved. In turn, we can get a good productivity. Now, this objective again, Kirkardly as object. Now, what are the objectives here given in NA? It will have four part. There are four part we have to describe. The improving the economic conditions of the workers. This is number one. First part. Second part, the regulate of the productions by the state, nationalizations of the industries by making the state the employer. That is second. And regulate of the productions by the nation, nationalized of the industries by making the state the employers. Last, the vesting the proportionarships of the industries in the workers. In today's time, the objectives of the industrial and the employment relations include that is the safeguard the interest of the labor and the management because whatever the objectives are formulated in this way so that the labor can be safeguarded, securing the mutual understanding and the harmony between the different players in the industry. Objectives of the industrial and the employment relations. The another objectives are there to avoid the industrial conflicts and disputes to enhance efficiency. So, is another big things. How to avoid the conflicts? As I told you earlier slides, that conflict is one of the very big issues. So, to maximize productivity, to maximize the productivity for growth of the nations. That, that is also one of the issues we have to see how to improve the productivity. To maintain the industrial discipline, discipline is another issue, one of the pillar we can see. If you are not disciplined, then definitely it will be affect a long run, and it will damage to the others also, and the conflict will start this way. If it is not in discipline, so maybe those who are disciplined, so they can demoralize slowly. So to establish and maintain industrial democracy by ensuring the workers' participation in management, to maintain industrial peace by bring down strikes and lockouts, ensuring the fair and the reasonable wages to workers to improve their standard of living. That another main objective is so we have to see the reasonable wages should be there so that they can survive their normal routine life, roti kapra makan, whatever the way that they have to daily needs can be fulfilled, and they can improve their standard of living. At the same time, they have to improve their levels. It should not be continuing the same things. They can be improved. So evolving a healthy social order, that is also the promotions and the development of the healthy labor management relations. These all are part of the objectives where the management has to see it. Need and significance of the industrial and the employment relations. The most important benefits of the industrial relations is that it ensures the continuity of the productions and also to resources by the fully utilized and resulting in the maximum possible productions. It reduces the industrial dispute, strikes, lockouts, and the grievances are the same, some of the reflections of the industrial unrest, which do not spring off an atmosphere on the industrial peace. So good industrial relations improve the morale of the employees. As a result, um, productivity can be enhanced. So wastages of the men and material and the machines are reduced to the minimum. Literature has explored the industrial relations impact on the organizational performance, especially on the productivity dimensions of performance. More recent studies state that the performance is determined by industrial relations practices, and the study examined the impact of the industrial relations strategies on the organizational productivity and the performance. The effects of the trade unions, grievances, collective bargaining, and the participative management on RINL performance are tested here. So they have tested some of the survey has done. They have how to develop the things, how to create the things. It has been tested. Approaches to the industrial relations, different theories, and the professionals have viewed industrial relations differently. So different people are viewed in a different way. So on the basis of the orientation of the different practitioners, different approaches have been developed to explain the concept of the industrial relations. Some of the important approaches are as follows: the systems approaches, number two, your unitary approaches, three is pluralistic approach, fourth is your Marxist approach, and five number is the social action approach, then six is the human relations approach, seven Mahatma Gandhi's trusteeship approach, eight is the socialistic approach, and means out model management on the RINL. That's the previous slides it has been shown. This is already discussed. So these are so many different approaches on industrial relations. So these approaches are discussed in the following section, that are Dunlop's system approach. One of the approach that is it has been tested, it has been done, it has been shown in the John Dunlop, who was working in 1958. So Dunlop is regarded as the father of the industrial revolution because he has only the developed a lot of ideas he has given. So he proposed that industrial relations systems is a separate subsystem of the society. So there are three components of the subsystem. What are the components? The interactions and the interrelationships of the three components of the subsystem constitute the industrial relations. Three components are: is the management, that is the compromising the managers, where the managers are there; workers, where it is a informal or formal organizations; and your then your state, that is the government bodies and the organizations concerned with the relationship between workers and their organizations. So there are, this is the way it has been components are, it has been founded. So unitary approach, that is perceives the organizations as an integrated system working in the harmony, because in this case they have to work in a very harmony, very integrated way. All the members of the organizations share their same objectives, interacts between the both and the purposes, and working together at the common goals. So such as the organization strives jointly towards a common objective, each contributing to the best of their abilities. So that is one of the approach. This is called the unitary approach. United, basically unitary approach. And unitary you have to do all everybody are participated, and particular one common goal is there. Now, pluralistic perspectives. This is also known as Oxford approach, because there it has been first implemented. Views the society as containing multiple but related interests which must be maintained in equilibrium, because they have different approaches. They have taken some of the CEOs, some of the worker levels, different level of different pocket of different area of the. They have selected some of the districts particularly, and their viewpoint. They have some people, some of the workers saying no, I don't know what is going on in the organizations. I'm always thinking my benefits. Why should I think for the government managements? That is the one type of approach is there. I am bothered about my future. I am bothered about my growth, my child, my family, like this. So in some of the companies, some of the areas, people are different approach. They are saying no. We are thinking both. We are very much love to my company, love to my organizations. I want to see my company should be in the top levels. So there are different approaches, different mindsets. Perceptions are different. So it is a pluralistic approaches like this. So in the Europe countries, some of the Oxford approach has been is developed. That survey was there. So it has mostly 60% people are thinking their own, and I mean it has been proven. So now it has to be in a equilibrium condition, because there should not be any big differences. So another is a Marxist approach. Concepts are this approach. This approach is based on the ideology. The Karl Marx, their ideology is different. Everybody should be equal. Not very big pay masters, not very poor condition. So some equilibrium condition will be there. So the pay range should not be very difference. So in the top and the maximum, the range should be very nearer to. So also known as the radical perspectives. The maximum Marxist approach is based on the propositions that the economic activities, and from based on this economy and the productions, there has to be people. So majorly governed by the objective of the profit. So based on this profit, company employer has to provide the money to distribute it to the employees like this. So heavy profit margin cannot be done. So that is a maximum Marxist ideology is there. So power relationships in the society. The theory is based on the premise that the industrial relations represent class conflict and more market relations. So what are the class conflict that should be removed, that should be reduced? Market relations also to be equilibrium conditions. So some way it is accepted also some of the company. Social action approach. The social action approach is a modification of the system approach. In the system approach, the external environment plays a dominant role, where the actors such as the employers, employees, and their representatives such a passive role in the process. So in this process, in this approach, mostly the external forces are playing more. Human relations approach. This is the human relations school founded by the Elton Mayo, and later this propagated by the Rutherford Sparks and Whitehard, Wyeth, and Humans offers a comprehensive view of the nature of the industrial conflict, and they have given a very good human approaches. I mean, they have recognized, they have observed The people are suffering more than 8 hours they are working, they are not getting the money, that type of position, not getting. So they are as a human being, now, so their package should be good, pay package should be good, that type of approach they are given. It's a good thing. Mahatma Gandhi's trusteeship approach, Mahatma Gandhi applied the principle of the trusteeship and the industrial relations also, because keep peace should be there. There should not be any conflict, and honesty, you have to do it. So employers should not consider themselves as a sole owners or the enterprises, though they may be the legal owners. So they should regard themselves only as a trustees and co-owners. That is the concept of the. There is another approach by the Mahatma Gandhi's approach. So all are equal, and so that there should not be any big level, high level. So he laid down certain conditions for a successful strike. The cause of the strike must be just address only the redressals of the genuine grievances. Workers should try to all peaceful and constitutional methods of the negotiations. So point number B is very important: peaceful and constitutional methods for the negotiations. Where his approach, Gandhi's approach, are everybody knows he has uh, always a belief, trust, and he has always through his life for the life peace, ahimsa. So through this way, he tried to highlight the things. The peaceful negotiations are exhausted. So strikes should be peaceful, even if the strike is there. That is also to be peaceful. There should not be any things. The non-violent movement. I think you want to say. Socialistic approach considers the workers' participation in management as an important factor in the development and the perfections. This ensures the fullest decentralization and participation in management as a multi-dimensional program for the socialist constructions. The economic reconstructions in based on the industrializations and the production and exchange. So, what are the factors affecting the employees' relations? So, there are various factors that affect the employment relations. Some factors are tabulated, some factors are the internal in the firm, and others, some of the factors are the external environment. So, there are two ways we have to see. Internal factors are the things that is the management related factors, then your attitudes of the management towards workers and the trade unions, what type of attitudes you have. Management believe in the industrial democracy. Then concern of the management for the worker, how much concern they are showing for the welfare of the leadership. Then autocratic and participative, what type? That is the main concerns. Effectiveness and the capability of the managers and the supervisors in solving the grievances and handling disputes. How much they are capable to do these things. Management concern for the worker welfare. So all these are clear. Clarity of the management policies related to work and the workers. So this is all the parties there. There is the factors basically. Those who are these factors are affecting the for the good relations. Now, workers related factors. Worker related factors, there are union attitudes towards management. Then it is vice versa. Earlier, we have seen in the past the management, what type of viewpoint for the workers. Now here, the union attitudes towards the management. What the way they are thinking, what their attitudes are towards the management. Inter-union revivals in the case of more than one. If it is a more than one union, then again they are not united. Maybe some of the conflict are there, they are not in a common point. So that is another issue, another problem. Readiness of workers to work. So acceptance. Yes, I have to do it. That type of acceptance with a happy mood. That is also very important. Union leaderships. So that leadership should be, see, he can control all the unions parties, all the different unions. He can convincing that type of convincing or leadership power should have one. That is one of the this part of your workers related factors. What are we talking about? These things. The external factors. External factors are influenced by the political parties. Sometimes the company is going on strike. There are another addition by the party. Political parties are also involved, or maybe they are boost up trade unions also. So that is another big issues for the external factors. Economic factors, because market is down, the cost inflation is there, cost is high, domestic conditions are very poor. So this is the things are there. So economic factors, as for example, as the inflations, economic downturns, etc. Success of the collective bargaining at the national and the local for the plant systems, then effectiveness of the dispute settlement machineries, employment situation nationally or locally legal the framework within the higher industrial relations exist. Now, uh, external factors again. Now it has so many other issues or points are there. Political parties on the trade unions, what type of influence they are give, and your labor laws of the nation, what the laws has been uh, formulated, and it is really effective or not, and that is implemented or not. Regulatory framework, that is also very important. Effective dispute settlement machineries, what are the machineries are there that for the settlement of the dispute that's effectively working or not. So all are the factors. So situation to see it. There are various issues. There are various issues and challenges for the your employment relations in India. Economic reforms is also a challenge. It just changed the environment. Uh, there have been a number of changes in the regulatory environment, as- aspirations of the workers, expectations of the employers. Big firms are the downsizing. That is one of the big things, and it is the big challenge. I can say downsizing their operations, cost cutting, and using the contracting and the subcontracting to bring down the cost. They are giving any contractual basis or agreement, wow, 2 years agreement or 5 years agreement job, so that they can reduce their money. I mean, extra bonus or other provident fund, other fringe benefits not to. So that is the way they are. So multi-skilled workers are required in the modern day part. So they are always in the market. The employee or the company are searching the multi-talented workers so that they can, with a small money, they can take a maximum output. Labor issues is increasing through the international bodies like the WTO, ILO, IMF. Management cannot ignore the demand and the concern of such forces. So, labor management, you can say, that is one of the big issues. Not only in India, it is a worldwide, everywhere. So, these are basically all the issues and challenges I'm talking about. Evolutions is they are basically the your post independence, the pre independence, and the post independence. What happened? There are so many phases are we have seen in the 19th century, the World War, then your some Second World War, all the phases as given at that time the British encouraged the things. So there are so many era has gone, and the Factory Act has been established 1881. But that time the Britishers are not, they're very much reluctant to do all these things on behalf of the labor, particularly in the Indian laborers. They are not very keen interest to do all these things. However, some of the norms they have formulated, the act is there, the minimum 100 should be there, the factory. 100 people should work, workers should be there. They can form some of the things. In 1890, some labor association has been formed. Bombay Mill, I had the association was. This is some should do all our history basically. There are nothing to, I think, elaborate things more. They all are in the, you have to remember, you should remember basically, the which year it has established, then what company was there that time, that you have to note it down for the further keeping in memory or from the exam purpose of view. So all the things we have to remember it when it has been established. And subsequently, the International Labour Organizations also come up in 1991. It has influenced the thoughts of the different leaders has been given the legislations also. And it is towards the government policy formulations. Labor movement in the country is given the 1928 it's inquired the report of the given the existing conditions the workers in the industry and the plant. And after the Second World War had a deep impact on the industrial relations in India because after the Second World War that so many industrialization has started. And by the time it has been our countries also independence. So that is another advantage. Earlier, it was British who could not do it. So it is resulted into the rise of the inflations of the fall in the wages and increase the cost of the living. So working conditions, this is the condition of the workers became the poor conditions at that time. So industry was making a profit. Basically, the workers demand the bonus, etc., was not accepted. So lot of discrepancy was there. Uh, the post-independence, the steps were taken by the large-scale industrializations of the nations, and there is a provision of the industrial constitutions provide the framework for the establishment of the rights. Industrial Dispute Act, as in 1947, is a very important act, what provided the legal framework for the settling of the industrial disputes. So this is the important part that where it has written everything categorically, how what is the legal process should be there, and how it has the formulations and all these things. Then there are 5-year plans are there. There are 1947. The Gabby says one of the plan was there. The second 5-year plans, 1956 to 1961. Basically, they are the discipline and adopted lot of things. And tri-party was the how to the representative should be employer side representative, worker representatives, government. They're all the tri-party. There are 3 representatives will be there, and the significant steps has been taken, and so that the harmony and relations worker and the employee can be developed and should be maintained. Significant workers' participations are there. During the second 5-year plan, it has been observed that the significant worker participations were there. Management was there. Yes. So the joint management commissions were there. So this is the way. So I think now I can close the session. Almost it is 5 minutes. So thank you very much. So thank you. Thank you. Bye.